Alright, here we are again with another tier list. Jesus Christ, I haven't made one in like a few months, and I was actually wanting to make one for quite a while, so now let's do it again. Since some of these infected did get kind of changed, so we're just gonna go over them and just see what else we got. Obviously, we don't need any of this, obviously, survivor stuff, so we're just gonna be excluding them. And here's all the infected, so we're gonna be doing that, obviously. Number one. Yes, there's like literally no arguments. Literally, she's incredibly powerful. She is extremely fast, she has a ton of HP, she has like 20 damage or even more, I can't remember, per a slice attack. Like literally, she's incredibly strong, especially her ability. Riot. He's also technically my favorite infected, and what I really like about him is just the fact that he has a passive ability where he's the only infected in the game who has no bonus headshot. So literally wherever you shoot him, it'll always be the same damage, I think, or is it apart from his legs? I'm not too sure. All I know is that he has no headshot thing. His ram ability is very good. His basic attack is decent. He has a ton of HP. He's actually a really good infected. So I wouldn't necessarily say he's A tier, but I would say he's like kind of B tier, almost nearly there. He's really good at dealing a ton of damage. I'll just put him there, see if I change my mind. Okay, this guy. I'm pretty sure everyone hates this guy, mainly because he's just incredibly slow, so easy to kill, and the only reason he is only okay is mainly because his ability does like 20 damage or like 15 damage. I can't remember how much damage it did, but it's a pretty decent amount. And also, if literally you blow yourself up in front of a survivor, it deals a ton of damage, but most of the time it's not. So literally, he's pretty awful. Yeah, okay. Oh my god! Alright, we got the Hunter. So, the Hunter, he is very good as well. He is really good at literally chasing, survivors down, getting them into the captured state, and literally able to just stop wherever they are at any time. But the only thing that he isn't really that good on is after he's lunging, what's it called? He has to, of course, regenerate his stamina, and if he obviously used it all, he's incredibly slow to walk around, so he can easily is very vulnerable at that time, but most of the time he's incredibly good, especially like camping or being around the corner or just getting to place, so he's very good. Okay, so a ton of people say that this guy is not as good as anymore, because back then he had a huge freeze, duration for the survivors. But then they nerfed it to where his range for his freeze attack is a lot longer and wider. Just the fact that the time you are frozen is decreased to like 3 to 4 seconds instead of like 7 seconds. So I wouldn't really say it was a nerf. It was just like trading something out, trading how long his freeze time was for longer range, basically. So I'd say he's still an A tier. He's not exactly powerful, he's just very good still. Alright, so Francisco.
You wanna buy some drugs?
Or this guy right here, however you wanna call him. He is also pretty good. He's not necessarily OP, because I mean all he does is just runs around invisible, basically blinding survivors, and obviously he does a pretty decent amount for the entire team, especially if like he's distracting the survivors by getting them blind and basically having the hunters or tanglers take the shot right then and there and basically doing a ton of chaos. So yeah, he's pretty good. Juggernaut. Juggernaut. There is no argument. He is very strong and very good. It's just, he's a tiny bit less than the Banshee, even though he does last a ton longer. It's basically whoever gets the Juggernaut or the Banshee. If they're really good, then these two are going to cause a ton of damage. And obviously, if they're really not that great players, as in like newbies, then let's just hope that the game is literally about to end. But yeah, he's very good. He has a very good ability. He has a very good passive ability, and he has a ton of HP. And plus that, Michael Jackson backward thing, experienced players actually use, is very good as well. But not necessarily too OP. Okay, we got the Snipper. So the Snipper, let's see here. He's also pretty good as Hunter. It's just the fact that he has obviously a few counters to him. So, for example, as the RPG, they could just nuke him if he's hiding behind a wall or wherever he is, like on a tall building. And also, obviously, survivors have the machete. So, yeah, there's that. But most of the time, they don't. So he's just as good, kind of, as Hunter, since he does stop survivors. Even if they do have machete, it does take a while for them to cut free, and plus, Infected can do a ton of damage to them. So, not necessarily too bad, but I'd say he's alright. I think he might be just, I think, yeah, we'll just leave him there. I think that's pretty decent. Alright, so, the regular Infected. Okay, so this guy has no abilities, no anything. It's just a regular zombie. So, most of the time, you are not auto-selected as it, but obviously, the only buff I would say is just to give him sprint, because, like, why else would they have the sprint ability? So, let's just put him at D. Now, obviously, for some reason, we've got zombies with armor, so I guess I should do that. Zombie with speed armor, he's really good. Or maybe decent, because technically he does sprint around really fast, which is technically like the crawler, but just a little bit bigger of a hitbox, but still, that's really good. Juggernaut armor, he's also just as good, mainly because he has more HP. Light armor, he just has a little bit more HP. Heavy armor, I guess just a little tiny bit more, since, you know, I'll just put it right here, because technically he has more armor, or more HP, so not really too much. Alright, so we got this guy, so, let's see. I think she did technically get nerfed to where as soon as she would shoot her acid pool, it would take like a second or two for her to be able to actually start receiving damage. So, apart from that, she's alright. She is not too bad, especially if, like, you know, the survivors are basically captured and the, spitter just spits on whoever is captured, dealing a ton more damage. So I think she's pretty decent. Not really too, I mean, maybe, you know, I'm just gonna put him at this one, because I think that's okay. Shaman, he is very good, like, extremely good. He's basically team-based winning vibes. He heals all the infected. He can boost the damage the infected do against survivors, and he has a ton of HP, just enough to survive a pipe bomb, which is incredible, literally. So I wouldn't say he's OP. I would say, actually, compared to all of these, he might be a little bit stronger, since technically, he has all those abilities that help his team so much. So I'd say he's a tiny bit stronger. Alright, so we have whatever you call it. So this guy is actually really good as well, especially the amount of damage he does with his ability. He also regenerates all of his HP after using his ability, so that's very nice. So he's also really good, when all survivors are really close to each other, because then are all getting damaged at once. The only real thing that can actually counter this guy is the fire extinguisher and the chili pepper, but apart from those, he's pretty good. I'm not saying he's bad or anything. He's pretty decently good. Alright, so that's it for today, so I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, for fuck's sake. We have to deal with this thing. Now, obviously, I know a lot of you guys are gonna say, listen, the dog got an ability. Look, it doesn't matter that it got an ability. The point is that it's still terrible. Literally, okay, here, think of this. If the zombie got a sprint ability, would you really say it's even stronger? I mean, kinda. Like, all it does is just makes it faster. That's it. So, obviously you would say, no, not really. So, why in this case should it not be applied to the crawler? This thing, most of the time, is just terrible. If you were auto-selected as it, you would literally, obviously, try to kill yourself. But obviously, since we need to demolish this thing, and I know he's watching, I'm pretty sure he's always, we have to absolutely tell him that this thing does not deserve to be in the game. It is a complete waste of a slot.